So it's recording. Is it recording? Yeah. All right. Let's get right into this VOD. And let me go skip ahead a little bit to right here. I think. Or right here. All right. So Peach versus Mario is a matchup that I played quite a bit. This is one I played quite a lot because I love playing this matchup. Matchup super duper even. This is a very skillful matchup because Peach has all the tools she needs to wall Mario out. Float avoids grab and just can kind of avoid a lot of Mario's stuff. And the ledge trap is pretty easy against Mario because he doesn't have the best burst options. But Mario doesn't have to approach in neutral because of Flood and Fireball. So it's kind of a stalemate between the two. And it depends a lot on player skill, on whoever can get that hit first. Toad's like one of the, I think he's the best Peach in Chicago, I think. And Sam T. Silver. I read it wrong. Sam T. Silver is a really good Mario. So it's going to be really interesting to see. I've watched a little bit of this VOD, but I haven't watched like the whole thing. So let's just get right into it. PS2's fine. As long as you don't take Mario to like Battlefield or Yoshi's. Yoshi's especially because the blast zones are so low that he'll just up air you and you die. But let's be real. Mario can kill you on PS2 and Smash Bros. 2 if he really wants to, but it's just a little bit harder. So yeah, let's look right into it. So we pulled the turn up here. We're gonna anti-air him.
Quite literally almost like 40 years old.
Let me go back. So turn up. Turnup's kind of interesting. I kind of want to mention this. Let me see once we get to a range. So, because this is really important against Mario, is anti-airing him is really good, but you want to play at a range where you can comfortably wall out Mario and react to what he does. Mario really struggles against characters that can zone him out, such as sword characters like Cloud, Marcina, Croy, because they can wall him out at this mid-range, and he doesn't have the best burst options to deal with that, so he's kind of forced to just charge Flood or Fireball, and that's exactly what you want to do as Peach, is stay at center and kind of deny space while not being too close to Mario to where you can get something like a parry into grab. And you want to keep in mind of his movement and kind of read him fundamentally. So we already start off with Turnip. He already anti-aired him, but in brawler matchup, I like to hold it a little more because it extends my threat range against Mario, and it's very important because having more range and more space to cover against Mario is super crucial. Because the more space you can deny for Mario, the better. So we throw Turnip in fair, but it's kind of odd that you decide. Oh, he missed the fair. I thought he hit it.
Both of these characters are quite literally almost like 40 years old.
We're going there.
Yeah, literally.
One thing I think I noticed kind of already a little bit. Let me watch a little bit more to get some more info. It's how you're dealing with Fireball, and that's really important. Because Mario, once he realizes that you're gonna kind of hitbox camp him at this range, he's gonna like charge Flood and go for fireballs. The best way you can deal with this is jump over and do a falling aerial, but space it correctly. Because yeah, that's one way you can deal with it is jump over, land with a back air. So you can do like jump, float, land with back air. Floating over it and not like holding forward is the best thing you can do. But you can also just like come down with the hitbox or try to read what he does after the fireball just to keep space. Because stage control is super important because once you get cornered by Mario, stuff like up air, fair can kill you at like 20. It's ridiculous. His character's so broken, but Peach is also broken. But yeah, you just don't want to corner yourself, and instead you want to go for more aggressive options against Fireball. You don't want to be dashing back too much like you're doing here. Because see, now you gave him the chance to charge Flood, and you're playing a little too passive when you need to be more aggressive with your hitboxes and start going. You want to maintain that range that we were talking about earlier with Mario. You don't want to be too close, but you don't want to be too far to where he can just like corner you or start throwing fireballs and floods and yeah, that sort of thing. Because see, like here, you could just get up air fared and die. So it's super important to keep stage control in this matchup.
literally.
So you double jump flow. But yeah, you can also do it there. Instead of clanking with it, because you will be in hit stun, you can just jump over, float, and then fall with the back air. Or if you don't want to like do an aerial, you can just while you're floating over, you can just wave land to the platform if you really want to. Just floating over Fireball and playing kind of reactionary from there, or like walling out his next option, is the best way to go. Rather than just dashing back and giving up stage, because you really need as much stage as you can. Because it's harder for Mario to just ladder you if you're directly in the center to get those up air ladders on you.
Welcome to Grand's.
So something I'm kind of noticing already with your patterns is you tend to throw out an aggressive option and then you dash back. And this was kind of a big thing I noticed when I watched a little bit of this VOD is your button patterns to like defend center stage was I'm gonna throw out a move and then I'm gonna dash back. And this Mario was really good at calling you out for that. So just something to keep in mind is when you're walling with Peach and you're playing defensive as Peach, you want to throw out at most 2 moves if you don't have a turn up. If you have a turn up, you can do 3. So let's kind of go back to the beginning here where we have the turn up. I can do a nair back air and then throw a turn up. Or you can do what he did. He throws this into fair, but he doesn't fade into Mario, which is important. You want to keep this distance so he doesn't get a combo starter on you. Just keep in mind of your spacing. You want to play like a sword character. And then you can either commit to movement here, or you could have done like a third option if you wanted to after the turnip. But if you don't have turnip, you can do stuff like nair down tilt and then retreat, or you can do like ground flow up air, back air. You can do all sorts of button patterns to condition Mario to cover options. Just keep in mind that you don't want to throw out too many moves because Mario is still a whiff punish character. He has the mobility to call you out for but yeah, you're kind of dashing back too much, I think, when you really need to defend space and be a little more aggressive.
Yeah, literally.
But yeah, see, you can just jump over and do back air. You shielded there. That's kind of another thing you want to avoid against Mario is shielding because of grab. So you have to kind of shift your mentality against these characters that have good grab games when you're using shield. When you use shield, think of it more of a bait and just like a quick parry option, and then you let go. So instead of using it, say like Cloud, for example, where we kind of use shield as like the main tool to like keep space against him and kind of call out bad spacing against brawlers, you can't really do that because Mario's arrows are really safe on shield. He can grab you and cross you up, so it's really hard to just like play the out of shield game versus him because his shield pressure is so strong and he can grab you. So instead, you have to think of shield as more of a bait and like just a quick option, and then you let go. You don't want to hold it too long because then he can just run up and grab you, and then you want to use it as a bait.
As expected, so it opens with a.
But yeah, here, even an advantage when we talk about stage control, a part of it is not overcommitting. Like with the up air here, I think instead you could have done like what's it called, the fast fall up air. And you could have just immediately gone back to stage instead and see what the Mario does. Most Marios on a platform will jump, and anti-airing Mario is really important, so you would just want to keep that in mind. But even at advantage, stage control, you gotta keep it simple and focus on being able to get back to here first, to center. Because see, now Mario's in the center, and it's like, oh no, I'm in the corner and I could get pressured and die really early. Mario corner pressure is similar to Zero Suit, where it's like his ledge trapping's not the best, but his corner pressure is really scary because it can kill you early. So you have to keep this in. Yeah, here it is again, where so there was a, like kind of the third dash back we've been seeing earlier, right? Where your button pattern is back air and then dash away. And it worked here because he was gonna try to call you out floating. But you're kind of starting to do that a little too much, where it's like, I'll do a nair and then I'll dash back. And now the Mario's starting to get it. And instead, how you deal with this is don't be afraid to press 2 buttons. Like I was saying, you can back air here, you can nair, and then do another button to defend space like a down tilt. Because Mario's playing more grounded. He's not really jumping too much. And you can do nair down tilt to kind of as a wall pattern. And you can get really creative with how you wall people. Because if I start throwing out ground float nairs into down tilt as a wall pattern, Mario's going to start jumping more. And so I can switch to like nair into rising fair. And kind of condition and play around that as you will, as long as you're paying attention to the Mario. And as Mario's playing more grounded. So I'd be more focused with denying ground space to condition him to play more airborne, and then I can start tossing out stuff like rising back airs, JCFF aerials, fares, that sort of thing. But the biggest issue is you use a move and then you get too scared and then you dash back.
Opens with a forward aerial. We'll be
And then
seeing
you
a
get
lot
hit.
of those from both players.
Yep. Oh, this is the end. This is
Roll.
players.
Okay.
Players.
So yeah, there it is again. Where
Oh, this is the end.
but yeah, actually let me start.
Seeing
Let me
a
talk
lot of
about
those
the
from
ledge.
both players.
Yep.
So Mario's ledge trapping, it's pretty it's like simple but solid. So you just have to play it patient. Sometimes you don't want to stay too long to where you get like F smashed or something. But yeah, the roll was interesting option here. I don't know why, but usually when I roll against Mario's, I get caught for it. But I wonder if we'll see this as a habit later
Yeah,
on.
this is team players.
Yeah, see? Use Nair, and then you dash back. And what you can do instead is be more aggressive with your hitboxes. Go for back airs, go for like JCFF aerials. If you're really that scared of the grab here,
Oh, this is the end. This is
you can do like back air. You can do, oh wait, that was a Nair. You can do Nair into rising down air. That's pretty good. And that'll also wall out his jumps. So you can use rising down air as an anti-air of sorts if Mario's on the ground. And it would be the best choice here because this Mario has been kind of dashing back in and out and trying to whiff punish you rather than trying to jump in with stuff like Nair against you. So
Let's go. There.
but yeah, even here as well,
Let's go.
I don't opt to go for grabs against Mario because it's pretty hard for both characters to land a grab in this matchup if they're playing evasive. Instead, I instead go for more like rising dare pressure and try to read the jump at a shield. But yeah, he was going for grab there. And the reason I try to read jumps and play airborne with like dares and stuff around shield, especially at this percent where up smash won't kill me, is because even if he hits me, if I'm down airing, then it's not a grab, so I won't take as much damage. So the risk reward will be in my favor.
It was going
Yeah.
for a parry, of all things.
So yeah, you just have to play it patient at ledge.
Hanging on the ledge, definitely too long. Eating only a down tilt.
So that was interesting there. But yeah, see, you thread a move and then you chose a defensive option. And he's really starting to get you, and you just need to be more
Definitely too long.
aggressive
Eating
with
only a
denying,
down tilt, F tilt.
not letting him run in on you. You can even do like Rising Nair as an option. It's pretty good in this matchup, just like short hop Rising Nair. Because it anti-airs, even though Nair's really small, it's a really good anti-air as a move. And it doesn't have much end landing lag either, so you can kind of throw it out.
Could have very well been an F smash.
But yeah, in the corner, you just have to be ready for these jumps. Another thing you can do against airborne characters is try to catch their landing. If you're really, really confident in your spacing in this matchup, like if you play it a lot, you can space just outside of the range Mario would jump at you at, and then go for a down tilt. Because again, Mario doesn't have much range, so you can space around his range and then go for a down tilt to catch his landing. Super good, especially against stuff like back air pressure in the corner here, where you can like low profile it with the down tilt and then catch his landing with the down tilt. I mean, you can low profile the bear with the down tilt and then catch his landing with the combo starter.
Could have very well been an F
So that's why I like down tilt in the corner. It's pretty good.
smash.
Yeah. I'm just hopping on the mic real quick. Xylo,
Yeah, there you go again. And see, you kind of just gave up
Yeah.
stage control. So the thing I want you to keep in mind when ledge trapping Mario is Mario's much easier to ledge trap than a lot of other characters. The only thing you really have to worry about is him jumping out of the corner. But again, Mario doesn't have like the burst options to just like get out of the corner very quickly. Like his dash attack's okay, but as long as you're maintaining this range against Mario, throwing out your buttons, sometimes mixing in stuff like movement, then you'll just be fine. But yeah, definitely it was good you went for the fair there, but instead of going for rising fairs in this matchup, because it is whip punishable, as you can see, go for more double jump cancel forward airs. They're much better. They cover more space. It's the best fair you can use in this matchup. But yeah, definitely go for that more
Xylo.
instead of just giving up all that stage.
Very well been
Because
an
even
F smash.
here,
Yeah. I'm just
after you
hopping
did
on
the
mic
back
real
air fair, you could have gone for like a down tilt because you had really good spacing. This is a matchup like you just have to be confident in your spacing to where Mario will just barely not whiff punish you and just kind of go for the down tilt afterwards here.
Xylo.
But yeah, again, with the
Yeah.
fairs, ground float fair and rising fair. Rising fair is better, but ground float fair is like not that great, especially if you like accidentally drift in with it. You want to go for more jump float falling fair, like very quickly double where you cancel your jump with the float.
Just want to point out, Toad has not dropped the game the entirety of top 8.
Interesting roll. I actually like what you did there because it was very different from what you've been doing so far. You did it, and instead of dashing back, you went for the roll, which was super good. So you're starting to mix up, and nice like even though the tomahawk mix up didn't work, I'm glad you went for it. Something you just have to go for sometimes. Ooh, what happened here?
Being on fire. Oh, God.
Yeah. All right. So this is like rule number 1 against brawlers is as soon as you get hit, don't try to drift in ever or try to land aggressively, because I think here what you did was, yeah, you used JCF, you floated. I think you JCFF or did something there, but you definitely lost your float, and now you're off stage without a float. So if you would have just went to ledge, you would have had that resource, and you wouldn't have been in this position where you would have had to upbeat early and the Mario just got you. So I definitely want to mention this because this is super important. Being at the ledge versus Mario feels kind of rough, but the best thing you have to do is just save your float for ledge, because saving your float for ledge definitely gives you more mix-ups to work with against Mario's ledge trapping. And you don't want to be off stage without a jump or float, because then he can go for stuff like Kate and flood edge guards, and it just gets really ugly from there.
Oh, God.
So you gotta save the
Yeah,
float.
we were talking about how he hasn't dropped a single game during our commentary block. Who knows how long before that, so... On the big rampage. Thanks for the info. Silas, it is apparently all of...
But yeah, again, where you chase him, but then you don't really... You just dash back instead of trying to defend space, and you dash back too far as well. You want to be around under this platform at least, because being under the platform is a little bit better versus Mario. Because see, if he tries to full hop at you, then he can't because you're under the platform. He'll just land on the platform. So being under the platform is definitely advantageous for ledge trapping, and definitely try to experiment more with that rather than going all the way back, and you're giving up this opportunity to just pressure Mario when he's in the corner, and you're just resetting back to neutral.
Thanks for the info, Silas. It is apparently all of...
And yeah, you jump there.
Yep. And here he hits a wall.
Okay, so here's another mix-up you can just remember. Is when you're on the platform as Peach, don't always run off. Peach can just like SHJCFF through the platform as a really solid mix-up. So just remember that. You don't always have to run off of it, because like running off a platform is super predictable in this game, and it's something you want to avoid doing a lot. But you can just drop through the platform there. It's okay. You'll still be in the corner, but at least you have a little bit of stage behind you to work with. So it'll definitely be better. But yeah, there it is again. You threw out a button, and then you're just like, nope. And I think you're dashing back too far with your spacing. Like, be around here. Be around here instead of all the way back here. I think you're giving this Mario too much space, and you're not using your buttons enough to like condition him or make him scared at all. To start going for like use dashbacks, and see, he just charged Flood for free there. He's really capitalizing on that.
Taking the first stock.
Yeah, there it is again. Run up shield's also interesting. It's another thing you can do as Peach to like maintain space. Is you can do that. Is you can just like run up shield, because even though I said like shielding's really risky, you can still run up shield to call out like an aerial and try to parry it, or like use it as a quick bait. And it also works against Flood, as you saw. But yeah, there it is again, and you're playing too passive. And instead, you want to be a little more aggressive. So yeah, even here, you could have, like, this Mario's doing a lot of run-up shield. This is when you can start doing like run-up nairs and JCFF nairs. And the JCFF will avoid something like the grab and wall out his rising up air. So that's pretty good. You want to go for... Wait, what was I saying? Yeah, JCFF nairs against his shield. Sorry, I had like a mental block for some reason. But yeah, you want to go for more of that. And see, even here, you're just like playing too passive. You're not defending any space against this Mario. And it's just a bad thing, because he's going to start just going at you. And you got to be able to defend space with back airs.
Oh my god. Yeah. Testing his reaction time. Good grab.
And even there, yeah, you're starting to really read your movement. It's like you get close and then you just back away. And I want you to be more aggressive.
Good grab. Oh no. wow.
Floating.
All those
Okay.
back airs.
And see, that's why you gotta save your float for when you really need it in disadvantage.
Cashing them in.
Interesting
Yeah,
grab.
Wow. Those back airs. Yeah.
But yeah, don't try to grab here. Against Mario, just keep defending space. You don't have to like go for these grabs against him when it's just much easier to wall out his options and play because he doesn't really have the best burst options and try to get his jumps rather than you committing first in the corner where Mario can just get you. So you want Mario to commit out of the corner, not you, because he doesn't have again like the burst options. Like I was saying.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay, that
Uh-oh.
hitbox is a little more generous than I thought. Yeah.
And this is also what you want to avoid. So after you get hit, don't try to reversal really fast characters. So I've been seeing you're trying to land on him a lot and be aggressive, and it doesn't really work. Especially here after you burn your float and your I think did you jump and float?
Wow.
Yeah, you jumped and you floated, I think there. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes when you float. And see, these characters have good enough frame data to just like stuff out the fair. Fair is just too slow. Dare is kind of iffy sometimes. So instead, just respect Mario's advantage state is the big thing. Instead of trying to land on him, where you just get hit by like another up air, and now you're down a jump and float to get out of a juggle. So definitely just keep that in mind.
Okay, that hitbox is a little more generous than I thought.
Don't try to drift in. Just respect it, drift away, go to ledge sometimes, or go to the nearest spot you can land.
So also, I don't.
But yeah, there it is again, where you back air and you dash away. And now he got you. And this Mario is jumping a lot off of platforms too, so we just have to keep that in mind.
Fast enough to punish these kind of YOLO uppies from
and there's a roll again. But yeah, there it is again. But see, now you actually went forward with the nair and it worked. So you're starting to read his ground movement. It's a little late, but you know, better late than never because Peach can make comebacks. See, like you did that. And then you dash forward and came in with an aggressive option at center stage. This is what I want to see more of you doing. Definitely.
I don't think she can either, right?
And see, you didn't overextend there. Awesome.
Damn, that means Sam T is free to go for all.
And you're doing awesome here.
Yeah, literally. Or at least it looks empty.
But the turnip pole definitely. But you did great here. You're starting to do a lot better. Where it was kind of what I was saying of you back air and now you're doing a rising aerial, which avoids the ground move. So this is why doing stuff like rising aerials against Mario is pretty good. Because you can avoid the stuff like the smash attacks and the grabs while also anti-airing him. Just super important because Mario gets most of his stuff by being in the air. And that's why also sword characters give him a lot of trouble. Is they can just like kind of swat at the air with low committal moves while avoiding the grab. And disjoints are just great anti-airs, but you're doing good. You're mixing up your button patterns where it's like bear into rising bear, up air into rising down air to anti-air. And this is what you want. Just stay in the corner. We do have to keep in mind of this up smash, but the best solution to this is going for down tilt. Down tilt will outrange the up smash just barely. So that's something to keep in mind. But I know you're going for anti-airs, but this Mario's playing more grounded anyways. But yeah, definitely keep what you're doing up right now.
Yeah, literally.
And you're even mixing up with float too. But another thing is this turnip pole wasn't that good because while you're in the center against Mario, you want to keep it. Instead, go for float into fast fall here. It would have been good here because there's a comfortable range you can kind of react. And also go over the fireball. You can just do like a landing aerial here. But the turnip kept you stationary and it gave Mario an opening. So instead you want to play it more patient. I know you're playing like patient a lot in this set, but you're playing patience, like you're playing too passive and not throwing out anything. The correct patience you want in this matchup is just not holding forward while you're pressing buttons. That's what you want. Because when you start holding forward, start getting antsy against characters like Mario, Greninja, Inkling and stuff and rushing things is when they get their openings on you. But patience, you can still press buttons and play patient. Just keep that in mind. As long as you're not getting antsy and holding forward or pressing too many buttons. You can still deny space and play patient. It's very possible.
Or if he can, it doesn't look like... Yeah, literally. Or at least it
yeah, here, definitely should have just kept it moving and still kept denying space instead of turnip. Mario isn't like hard camping you. He is trying to box with you, and he is like running around on the ground. So this wasn't great. You should have just kept him mobile, and you're not really using a lot of float to kind of force him in the air either, which is what you want. And float is also just good at that range, at this range to avoid stuff like fireball.
Yeah, literally.
And then you can mix up with stuff like landing aerials with the float and whatever you do out of float. So yeah, instead of this, definitely use more movement.
At least it looks and feels like it. Or if he can, it doesn't look like it's gonna be.
And this also, I think if you did the back air here, it would work. Yeah, so this is why you float and then you can do a falling back air. Same as T-Jolt against Pikachu, where you can just like float over it and then like fall with the back air, or you can go for like a rising aerial. But just floating over it and landing is also not bad. Just using float to quickly avoid the option and then fast fall back to the ground.
Looks and feels like it. Or if he can, it doesn't
But
look like it's gonna be.
I think you should have held the turnip too, because this is also important. Is against Mario, you want to avoid just throwing it too early because of this cape. Instead, you want to hold it to bait out the cape. Because once you bait out cape is when, again, Mario's stationary, and then you can start pressuring him. So holding the turnip until you really need it to whiff punish Mario, like on his landings, or if he misses like a smash attack or something, is really crucial. So you want to hold it instead as pressure.
Or if he can, it doesn't look like it's gonna be easy at all. No.
Okay, just regular stuff from there. I like what you did here.
No.
Where it's like, okay, pull the turnip. I'm not going to throw it at you. I'm going to go off stage to bait out an option and then go back on stage. So that kind of forced the Mario to go low when you went out there. And now you're able to get him.
No.
So I really like what you did there.
Yep. We found the answer.
Personally, Saturn in this matchup, I mean, nobody's going to be shielding anyways. So normally I would just throw it away, but I don't know. I feel really weird about Saturn in this matchup.
132 to show for it though. Not fun.
You're going for these rolls, but he's not really punished.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. There is a Mr. Saturn.
But yeah, there it is again. You're playing too patient. Instead, I think it's because you were so focused on the Saturn, and that happens. Where, yeah, you should have just been earlier, and you want to swing kind of first against Mario. Well, maybe not there. But yeah, you're played too passive and you weren't pressing any buttons to give him nice space.
And it is now in Samty's
But
hands.
I'm just gonna blame that on the Saturn. But
yeah,
yeah, see, you gave up all of that stage, and instead you can just run up shield in the corner against Mario.
I don't know. With it. I don't know, man.
Nice.
You know, it's obviously Toad is the Peach main, but Samty is the guy
Oh, okay. So what do you do here? So you did
like
awesome here. You're like, I'm getting the combo and whatever. But instead of Toad doesn't really work, especially on like PS2. The only time I would use it against Mario is like a wall stage. But you want a 2-frame Mario. Mario's really susceptible to 2 frames, especially with like Peach Golf Club is really good and maybe even down tilt. But Golf Club is like the best option. But against Mario's one of the easiest characters to 2-frame in the game. So instead of going for this, keep it simple where you keep the stage control here. I think you were kind of antsy because he's ahead, but you still definitely could have made this comeback if you would have kept it simple and kept your ledge traps like vanilla. But definitely the best option here would have been to just try to 2-frame Mario. Because I think, did he jump here? Yeah, he did use his jump there.
I don't know, man. You know, if...
Yeah, he used it right there. So if you would have golf clubbed him, he was probably dead. And you probably could have done the Toad. But you gotta wait for the jump before you can do something like this. Because on this sort of stage, it's really hard to get stuff like Toad against Mario. Instead, go for the 2-frame. Let me see if he actually snaps ledge here. Oh, he does. But normally, Mario's up B doesn't always snap ledge, so it's just better to go for 2 frames against him. Let's go to the next stage. But yeah, the biggest thing was you were dashing back too much after pressing a button, and Mario's really starting to get onto that. But the times you box with them, like, as you'll see here, is when you kind of started to tie up the game a little bit. It was like there, going with the nair, do that, not overextending, up air, back air, do another thing, aggressive option. It's keeping up the pressure with hitboxes while not being too close. And then, what you can do with your movement as Peach is you can sometimes just like microspace with JCFF movement out of Mario's range, and then go for something like a down tilt if he's going to try to catch your landing. Or try to float here as a mix-up.
Yeah, literally.
And then do that. But yeah, it's a matchup where you're throwing out your hitboxes and spacing around Mario, and just, again, like being really confident with your spacing around his bubble, if you want to think of it that way.
Or at least it looked.
And not giving him openings by being too stationary, not pressing any buttons, and you don't want to pull too many turnips in this matchup. It's good if you can get it, but that's only if the Mario's like hard camping.
It doesn't look like it's
But yeah, see, as soon as you did that, you started to just like tie up the game here, and it was like definitely your best stock this whole game, and you're able to get the kill. So I want to see more of that this next game. Where are we going to?
I have a challenge.
Oh, we gotta add.
Go to every
Of
computer in your
course.
house. Your
Place
mom,
is only
your
5
dad, your
seconds.
sister, your brother's computer.
Skip.
Yeah, he did.
Alright.
Threat of
Where are we going
Rob
next?
Gyro. Entering in his
Going on FD. FD's okay. Mario definitely can't ladder you here, which is nice. But I feel like the ledge trapping is a little more volatile on this sort of stage. So yeah, let's see.
was a massive threat.
Imagine those were like low-key secret secondaries.
But yeah, see? Like you're boxing with him, but it's the same issue. Where you're just dashing back too much, and you need to defend a little more space. Like even here. You can down tilt Nair. You tried to dash attack him there, which was good. You go for the roll. And see, now you're playing too passive. When you go for it there, you down tilt. This is something I do want to mention, though. Because I mentioned this in the Captain Falcon vid, where a lot of Peaches, after they do like a falling aerial, they like to defend themselves with a down tilt. And you got to mix up this option. You definitely got to mix it up. So you can do like a JCFF Nair into like ground tilt up air. Let me look at this Mario's movement. It's more grounded. He goes for Fireball because he thought you were going to dash back there.
Low-key secret secondaries.
And then he's going for more aerials. Yep. And he caught you dashing back there. So this would be a good time because you haven't really been doing a lot of rising down air. Definitely would have been good. Even up air.
I don't need them.
Another thing you can do that I kind of want to mention once we get to it is you can float backwards as a movement option. To also threaten space.
I don't need them. I just need Mario.
But yeah, there it is again. You're trying to land aggressively, and this Mario is just ready for it.
Well, he is like
and yeah, there's the roll. So I want to mention this because you've kind of been struggling at ledge a little bit. Is if you have your float, you have more mix-ups to work with at the ledge. So one thing you can do, well, there's a few things you can do. Is you're a ledge, not the best place to be. Is you can just jump float off ledge and be right here. You can even JCFF Nair off of ledge as an aggressive option if you think the Mario is going to try to be here. You can drop down jump air dodge as another thing. And of course you can do like rising down air off of ledge. The thing I noticed doing rising down air against Mario's is you don't want to drift in. It's kind of the same thing in neutral where you don't want to be fading into Mario because you want to maintain that distance between them. But it's the same thing at ledge where if you do rising down air, you want to like drift away. You can even like air dodge after it. There's a few mix-ups you can do, but having the float is definitely the most important thing you can have. But yeah, there you're starting to go for rolls, and you haven't really been mixing it up.
Literally.
We on final D now.
Nice. And see, you start to go for the aggressive option, and you're starting to read his dash back.
In theory, Mario's worst stage. In theory. In theory, Let's
see what this Mario is doing out of shield and what he's doing after landing. That's kind of something. So after he lands, so Mario doesn't really do anything. He's just kind of playing reactionary after you land. So that's when you can start to like get him. And after he lands, he's doing a button there. And now you're trading with him. So here,
in theory, Mario's worst stage.
And this is what I mean. You don't want to drift in too far when you're pressing buttons against Mario. You don't want to be this close. You want to be at around this distance as much as possible. You don't want to be too close unless it's like a hard read. But yeah, definitely instead of doing this up air here, you could have gone for rising down air. Definitely would have been better.
In theory, on paper.
Oh, okay, yeah, I can see it. Because his Mario shenanigans is so limited.
But yeah, there you don't want to throw it too early. You just gotta keep it, because sometimes he can just like press a button and then he'll like catch it. But yeah, he's starting to come in with the back airs, and this is when you can use your own like rising down airs and back airs, or space just outside the range to down tilt his landing.
So limited.
And there it is again, the aggressive fair. You just have to go to ledge. You wouldn't have taken that
But
damage.
again, Sandy Silver likes to
Uh-oh.
wow. He plays Mario on the stage all
Oh
the
no,
time.
that's a back air.
That's an up air.
Uh-oh.
And
What's
then
going on?
You got float to make it back.
When did you
And-
lose your flow?
Back here.
Was a question.
His Mario shenanigans is so limited.
Oh, yeah, right there. And there it is again. Same thing as game 1, where you lost your float, and now you're in this
But,
situation.
again,
But here definitely would have been good to just air dodge after the
Sandy
flood.
Silver likes
Oh, shenanigans is so limited.
Just, instead of, see, if you would have just gone to ledge, like, it's such a small decision, too. Like, in hindsight, it's like, oh, you just go to ledge. So you could have avoided all of this. But here, you definitely could have air dodged, just like something to point out. But
Again,
see, if you didn't
Sandy Silver
leave,
likes-
let
oh,
go
wow.
of your flow,
He plays Mario
then you
on the
wouldn't have been
stage all
here.
the
Oh
time.
no, that's a back air.
That's an up air.
Oh, up air.
And in there,
And even like
you
here
got
as well,
Mario on the stage all
Oh
the
no,
time.
that's a back air.
instead of down airing out of hit stun, which he got you. So it's like out of hit stun, you're choosing all of these really aggressive options, trying to like swing and get back to stage as soon as possible. And you can't really do that. You just have to respect his advantage state and kind of drift away.
Oh, up air.
And in there, we
There.
got float to make it back.
And
Yeah,
the back
see.
air. Wow.
It's kind of the same
Great
thing as
call
game
out.
1.
Knowing that Toad had to use
Okay, something I want to mention, because you are going for these
Wow.
dash attacks,
Great call out.
is definitely ground flow nair is a better option. At lower percentage Peach, I don't like dash attack as much unless it's very specific matchups where dash attack is really good, like the links. But here, ground flow nair is a little bit better
knowing that Toad had
because you can just like ground flow nair, and if they, because this Mario does use run up shield, and he can like punish it out of shield. But this is a good frame to talk about backwards movement with Peach. So when you can use floating backwards as kind of this way
Oh, great call out.
to
knowing that Toad had
kind of mix up your movement. Because when you're facing, like, let's say we've been denying space this whole game with ground float back air, we can just float backwards towards Mario and kind of micro space with the float and face backwards. So always have that back air ready, because you know if you do a RAR, it takes a little bit longer. And even here, your up air will come out faster. Like, let's go to the
And the
start. Where was it? We'll use up air. Oh, it's right there.
now, which is in theory Mario's worst.
Yeah, even here, see, up air starts in the back. So when you're facing backwards as Peach, you can anti-air a lot better. And even here,
now, which is
when
theory
facing
Mario's but
backwards, when doing backwards movement, because you haven't really been doing a lot of backwards
you got
movement
float
as
to make
Peach.
it back.
Definitely
and the
something
back
you can use
air.
as a mix-up.
Wow. Great call out.
Knowing
Oh,
that
there it is again, just to
And
kind of
the
see
back
it, because
air.
that last frame
Wow.
wasn't the best.
Great
Is
call out.
oh my god, it's so fast. Let me try this. Playback speed, let's go back to 5.
back.
So we get back air
And the
there.
back air. Wow.
Something for Peach players that are
Great.
watching this that want to see.
Wow.
It kind of started there, right? Oh my god, I'm trying to get it.
Great call out.
Yep, see, it starts like right behind her. So it would be faster to face backwards as a way to get out your ground flow up airs faster to anti-air.
Knowing that Toad had to use the
But yeah, even here, something you can do while
Wow.
floating backwards, because you know, it threatens the bear while you're at this distance against Mario. And sometimes Mario will jump in, and then you can like float and then jump in air. So that's something you can do.
use the float to cover the horse.
But again, that was really good. So this matchup, again, this is kind of a good example of it.
Knowing that
It's
Toad
being
had to use
just
the float
very
to
confident with
cover
your
the
spacing.
horse.
Here you... Oh wait, the back air shifted your Hertzbox. So this was the right play. I thought for some reason it was just out of range to where you can like get the down tilt. But that was correct.
Horizontal distance, yeah.
Nice. But again
Toad
here,
had to use the float to cover the horizontal distance, yeah.
you can just chase with another ground float nair, and it would have been better. So I mainly saved the dash attack as a kill option with Peach because I think it's better. And he's seeing you're like chasing him with the dash attacks. Instead, what you can do
Knowing that Toad had to
is
use
like
the
what I
float
was
to
saying with the
cover horizontal
backwards
distance,
movement,
yeah.
is you can do that, float backwards to bait out the spot dodge, because you're like, if you're floating backwards, they're like, oh my god, Peach is gonna back air me. But instead, you can just float backwards as a bait as well, while also having that quick option available for when you need it. So you can chase by floating backwards as Peach, like right there and kind of waiting, and then you can like go in, if that makes sense.
That's the
And this is
thing about her,
important
too,
because
people
it makes it a
that
lot better
we
to
were-
ledge trap as Peach when you're floating
saying
backwards. It's
earlier-
definitely the way to go.
That's the thing about her too.
But see here, as soon as you drifted away, you're doing awesome. Like you didn't take any damage, but this fair was kind of risky. So definitely a habit to keep in mind, where you're always trying to land aggressive or be aggressive at a disadvantage, and you just have to play it cool. So there's the back air,
People think that.
and there's a spot dodge too. So a way I would chase this Mario now, because
That's
this is
the
like
thing
the
about her,
second
too,
spot
like,
dodge, after he gets hit, is you can go in, instead of dashing back like what you've been doing, is chase him with the down air to get him, and that's like a free combo starter.
People think that. Well,
Or you can do what I said, just flow backwards to bait it, and then you can like go in for the
we were
punish.
saying earlier that Falcon's recovery, like people think that. Well, we were
But yeah, definitely don't try to overextend with these grabs against Mario. It's really
saying
risky.
earlier that Falcon's recovery.
And another thing I'm seeing a lot is like after he,
Well, we were saying earlier that.
yeah, in these spots where he's up close, he's always kind of jumping. So definitely go for rising nairs. That's something I haven't really been seeing you do a lot.
Too, like,
Is what you can do here
people think that.
is,
Well, we were
so
saying
you got hit,
earlier.
and when you're up close at a shield, you can do jump nair at a shield. It's good anti-air. Rather than going for the back air, which is like too slow.
Falcon's recovery is going to get bullied, but this is a matchup where Peach's recovery gets bullied, and that's rare.
Nice.
I don't know about
Ooh, that was
bullying,
really
but
good. I like what you did here.
Bullied, that's rare.
It was like up there, I will call out your jump because this Mario has been jumping at a shield a lot. So that was a good option to go for. And then you baited the air dodge or aggressive option by floating up there and going back down. So the Mario was kind of forced, he kind of nared there to get out of
I don't know
it.
about
And it was just a miss space on your part. But it was definitely, that was a really good
Peach's
call.
recovery gets bullied, and that's
Where you're
rare.
like, okay, I'm going to hold the turnip. And so you can even like convert off of it once you hit them while you're holding turnip. So that's why it's always better to hold it against Mario, because you just can bait options. And if you ever get the hit, I mean, you can pressure options, and then if you ever get the hit, you can convert off of combos.
I don't know about
Super good.
bullied, but Sam D. Silver's definitely doing a good
Yeah, there it
job
is again,
not making
where
it.
you just
About
dash
bullied,
back
but
too
it-
much. That's the main thing
Sam
I've
D.
been
Silver-
seeing. You back air, and you dash back way too far, and instead you got to be more aggressive. It would have, if you didn't even want to press a
I don't know
button,
about
right?
bullied,
You could have
but
done
it-
what we said earlier. It was like
Sam D.
back air, float, and then react. So had to play reactionary there. And
Definitely.
even with your spacing, I think you're going too far
doing a good.
too.
I don't know about bullied, but
I mean,
So yeah, back air, and so you could have just like floated there and played reactionary. So this is when you can like mix up your movement as Peach. It's like you press two buttons, we're done, and then you can just use movement like floating right there backwards. And if you would have done that, you could have reacted to this fireball. And against full hop fireball, you can run right under it. So this is like a spot where you can play reactionary rather than dashing back like you've been doing. And then you pull the turnip, which leaves you open, and now you're shielding, and it's just really rough.
you're right.
Oh, so you're doing it there, which is good. And see, it worked out. It worked out perfectly for you.
outs on his movement, his jumps, but
You're right.
Some of it is just.
But yeah, again, this Mario out of shield
Call-outs on his movement, his jumps,
and up close.
but
You're right.
He has, but it was good you covered the roll. But out of shield, he's been jumping a lot.
some of it is.
So yeah.
You gotta hold down those L's.
But even here was a good spot to go for a two frame. Where I like what you did. You went for the fair, but here you can go for a golf club, and it would have killed him. So this would have been a perfect spot to go for the two frame here.
That's the name of the game.
Nice.
Nice back here. Okay. Ooh.
And he's just dead. So
One more.
Let's go.
That was a snipe.
yeah, pull the
Nice.
turn up, and now we're gonna just hold it.
He
And
reflected back the other
resetting
turn,
back
but
to neutral.
it
But
didn't
don't
go far.
Z drop it there.
It actually touched the ledge, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Turn it, but
So yeah, you Z dropped it there, and instead you want to hold it. Because this Mario, the way he's responding to when you have a turn up is he's just like gonna cape. And that's a free way to get out of disadvantage too. So what would have been the best option to go for definitely here is just hold it. You can go to ledge or you can like land right here, but landing right here is kind of risky. So you can just go to ledge, and when you're at ledge with the turnip, it gives you another option they have to think of, especially if you have your float too. Like you have turnip, float, Peach's aerials, all are good mix-ups off of ledge to just kind of get out of there.
It didn't go far.
it actually.
But yeah, here with your fairs, fair was too slow, especially when you're in the corner. You want to avoid using fair speech, and drifting in with fair is hard against Mario when he has better
Yeah.
when he has faster moves.
Which is kind of scary though, because imagine if like Toad jumped off and got.
Ooh, yeah. So I'm starting to see
Actually touched
kind of
the
getting
leg,
panicky
Yeah.
in the corner.
Which is kind of scary though.
It's
'cause
like,
imagine if like Toad
You don't want to rush out of the corner either against Mario because he will F smash you, and F smash like shifts his hurt box back, which is really annoying. So definitely, it would have been better to just like play it patient here, like what you were doing here.
Which is kind of scary though.
the ledge, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'll just go to ledge, I'll down tilt, and then instead of like holding forward there, one trick you can do is just like float, and then you can like go back, but maybe not here because the Mario's right there. But flow was definitely an okay option. It was just like you were gonna get aggressive, but instead,
Actually touched the ledge, surprisingly.
Yeah.
what you could have done here is
It didn't go far.
like kind of what you did there. You went forward and then you went back to make the Mario think you're gonna get out of there. Even with this down air, you didn't even have to go for for this forward air here. You could have just landed, and you would have been right back on the ground. Because it's just better to be on the ground against a character that's faster than you. This Peach.
Yeah.
So you did down tilt,
Which is
and then you could have floated there and then gone like right back to bait out the up B, something like that. Or
kind of scary.
another option you could do
Yeah.
is just float and then you can air dodge. Like, don't go for anything aggressive out of the corner against Mario is the big thing, because he can just
Which is
like
kinda
punish
scary,
you out of
though, 'cause
shield.
imagine if, like,
He
Toad
can
jumped-
just F smash you. He has all sorts of ways to punish you for being antsy in the corner.
off and got hit by the reflected veggie.
Imagine that's like a stitch.
Yeah.
And you're at
Yeah,
like,
here,
By the reflected,
this is a spot where,
veggie.
again, you don't want to be
Imagine
holding
that's like
shield,
a
because like it's always like you press a button and then either dash back or go for a defensive option. So it would have been good to like spot dodge here, or go for like the rising down air, which I've been talking about. You haven't really been using it a lot.
Yeah.
So the Mario's kind of just been free to do stuff on the ground against you when you haven't really done much float movement or rising down air stuff.
and you're
Hit by the reflected
And a way to kind of mix up your
Imagine
buttons
that's like
too
a stick.
is you can just like nair. And since this Mario has been using a lot of run up shield, this would have been a good spot to just jump and float. Jump, float in place, force the Mario to start anti-airing you, and then if he's shielding, you can go for a tomahawk or you can cross him up. Stuff like that. So you haven't been really using a lot of float plus fast fall, and then you can mix up float plus fast fall with stuff like nair. You can jump out of float. You can do all sorts of mix-ups because you are floating in the air with an extra jump. So,
Yeah.
and you're at like 50.
like, if you are that scared of the ground move, just
Imagine
remember
that's like a stitch.
you can just jump, float in place, and you can always fast fall back to the ground when you want. But low to the ground float, and it avoids the ground move, and it also helps you to just like react better to pressure him. And even if you get hit in the air, it's not by a grab. He has to like hit you with that tiny up air, and as long as you're spacing float around that, you should be good.
Yeah.
And you're
And it's also a good way to get around the fireball.
at like 50%. You might just die.
Yeah. Literally. Oh God.
Whoa. What a way to claim all the
Yeah.
stage.
This stage is mine. And
Nice.
it's triad-
Hold on.
All
Yeah.
the stage. Whoa.
So it's good you went for
You might
Dare,
just
for
die.
Rising Nair.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he does have floods. You want to play more grounded, but even then, there, you can go for like down air.
Yeah. Literally. Oh
Just fine.
God.
So you go for the Nair there.
Whoa. What a
Go
way
to
to claim
ledge.
all the
Yeah.
stage.
And yeah, again, you're trying to be antsy out of the corner, and you just want to play it
This stage
more
is
patient.
mine.
Way to claim all the
Yeah.
stage.
This was good spacing on your part, where you're like, I'm going to go just outside the range to land. But remember, you can also just do down tilt as a way to catch landings if you want.
Is mine. And this
I recommend it, because it just low profiles his back air.
A little bit of peach combo.
A little bit.
Not even the biggest one. 55%.
Ooh, even there too.
Oh,
But
Not
definitely
even the
try to
biggest
use the
one,
shield.
55%.
Definitely, like, as soon as this happens, just get out of there. Because this Mario has been really quick to react to what you're doing. And he goes for, like, grabs and stuff really quickly. So, definitely, what move did you use
Combo.
before it?
A little bit.
Not even the biggest one.
You use a
55%.
landing aerial back air, and then you just kind of panicked into shield.
Oh wow, that up air out of shield.
And there it is again. Oh my god, you actually got lucky. So,
Aired, but it-
even though this worked,
Wow, that up air out of shield.
it was like 5 times where you kind of jump floated and then came out with an aggressive option, and it worked once out of like 8 times. So definitely not worth the risk reward when you could have just like drifted away here. You didn't even have to do this, which is just jump into float. You could have just like falling down air or done like a nair. Like there was no need for that because if you would have gotten hit again, you would have lost those 2 resources.
There, but it's only to land.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is again where all the times this Mario just like run up shields and then he jumps out of shield.
To land.
Yeah.
And even up close. So you got the grab there. So it's good you played aggressive. But here again, you could have gone for the 2 frame, which was much better to go for, rather than just going for turn up. Definitely practice 2 frame in Mario in the training room. It's really good.
Oh, nice back air. Are we gonna find anything off of it?
Nice. And see, you're doing awesome here. That was actually exactly what I wanted to see you do more of. Is maintain the space against Mario where it's here, but you're not just dashing back and being scared. Because again, you can slip space stuff like fairs against him, and it'll be safe as you saw, as long as you're like on point with your spacing. Then you can go for stuff like back airs. One thing I want to recommend though is after back air against Mario, this is like a really good like wall pattern. So you go for back air, and then you go for like a rising nair in place, or drifting towards him to anti-air him. So you can go for something like, or even floating. You can do this and then just do rising there, and it would have been good. Or even rising back here if you wanted to. But yeah, definitely stay in place there. And it also would have clanked with the fireball. So that's why doing back air into rising there is like such a good wall pattern against Mario. I love it.
I don't know, man. Sam Silver.
But yeah, even though you got hit, you still kept the pressure up. And this would have been a good starting point to go off of because you did. Whenever you threw the turnip, you had the right idea. You read the jump out of shield, which he's been doing a lot. Do the back air, and then you dash back and you got him. So you're like, okay, so he's starting to jump a lot in the corner. So that would have been good to go for like the rising nair right there. But this, even though he hit you, that's a good starting point because you're starting to see, okay, now I need to cover jumps the next time he's in the corner.
Still up a stock, don't forget.
And just keeping that distance against Mario at all times. Even though this is the corner, it's the same thing in neutral. It's like, you're here, I'll wall you, and then I'll kind of put these hitboxes to wall you, but not too close, right? You're keeping the spacing against him at all times. And then you can start mixing up stuff like JCFF and jump float.
Oh, man.
Super good.
Sam Silver still up a stock, don't forget.
Yeah.
Yep, and there's the roll again. But yeah, you have to remember your ledge options where you can just like jump, where you can fall, jump, air dodge, or you can jump, float, or JCFF off ledge, just stuff like that.
And completely left Toad now.
Good you didn't come down with an aggressive option,
Toad
and then
playing
you're
so
doing
strong,
that.
and then you run into a solid player like Sam Silver.
But at this percent, you really want to play more
Toad
grounded, though. Rather than being in the air, because he can just run up smash, and up smash is invincible. So you just don't want to hold forward in the air. Like this back air was a decent wall move, but it was super risky, because he could have just like up smashed you. Same with other characters with invincible up smashes, or just good anti-airs like Snake up tilt, Rosa up smash is another one, where you want to avoid holding forward in the air versus these characters, because they can just up smash you at this percent and you're dead.
Toad playing so strong.
Yeah, even here too, you could just 2-frame him. See, he doesn't snap ledge here, and Golf Club would have just smacked him.
Run into a solid player like Sam Silver, and
But yeah, there's the defensive option again, and which is, it makes more sense here because you're about to die. But just keep that in mind. It's like biggest thing, button, and to shield or dash back. It's one of the two. Instead of just like going forward and trying to pressure his shield or deny more space.
I'm not gonna say his game plan falls apart because it really.
But you kind of see in this game, in this whole set, the times you have been aggressive, it's been really good for you. Yeah, this is a good, decent float, and you're not holding forward, so that's super good. And there's the roll again. Oh my god. Yeah, you have to mix it up. Definitely experiment with floating, using float off ledge with JCFF. And just like, you can even JCFF nair off of ledge, because if Mario does shield here, I know you burned your float, but if Mario does shield here, you can just like jump JCFF nair, and nairing out of the corners peach is super good because you can trade, and it's also safe on shield. So if they try to shield during the ledge trap, then Nair is like a perfect option to go for.
You can't even get it.
Rather than just going for these rolls and going for jumps, which is kind of risky too.
Stay all that much.
Yeah.
But yeah, see, even if you hold forward 2 against Flood, then you just end up not going back as far than if you were to like dash back or be in the air. I'm liking going for the pressure here. I'll definitely focus on covering the jump. Yeah, that was good. But you want to go for more of these fairs against Mario. Where it's like, where you double jump cancel. Well, that wasn't exactly it, but it was close enough. Where you go for these double jump cancel fairs against him. But see, he kept the pressure up. And how did he live that? Oh, Peach is bad. She can't kill. But definitely great starting point. And then you started to cover the jump. But when you're juggling as Peach, go for the fast fall up air instead of the whole thing, because you can frame trap the air dodge and then run forward in Nair. So I've kind of seen it a few times where you're going to try to, you want to catch the jump and you want to frame trap him, but definitely go for this up air 1 or fast fall up air as Peach, and then you can frame trap him and run forward in Nair, and he's dead. So definitely do that a little bit more if you're going to try to catch the jump out of the corner, which we've been seeing he's been doing a lot, but you're definitely getting better at pressuring him in the corner.
Definitely some like peek of the eye because I saw it.
Uh-oh. I like what you're doing. You're like, I'm doing this. I'm going to back air to stop you from whiff punishing me. I'm going to, okay, maybe not that back air because he wasn't going to jump in, but now he's getting scared and he's running away. So this is when you can start chasing him with more hitboxes. Is do that, run forward. You can run forward a little bit with your spacing and get him. But yeah, now you can start running forward and taking more space, because since you've been doing these hitboxes, Mario's like, I'm just going to give up space to camp. And that's what you want, because now he's in the corner. And again, Peach's corner pressure against Mario is pretty good. But yeah, don't do the side B. Ooh, do not do the side B. Hopefully that was a misinput. But instead, just slowly inch and take away more space. It's like what I was saying earlier. I was like, you want to maintain that distance. So going forward here, like even walking would have been great. And just slowly be a slow moving wall and keep the space that you have behind you. Rather than going for it all with that side B. But yeah, stay more grounded here. But yeah, see, you just want to play more grounded. But then you got him there because you thought you were going to try to push buttons. But this was like a kind of decent spot to use fair. It was to catch the dash back from him. So then this is when you can use hitboxes to bait defensive options and pressure him. This is something Sam was really good at. He was really good. Like people talk about Samsor and like he was a really good Peach player. He was really good at putting these hitboxes and then just to bait you to play defensive and then chasing you even more. So baiting out defensive options and pressuring them was something he was really good at. Something you can capitalize here and just kind of see here was like using Peach's buttons, forcing you to play defensive and dashing back or shielding more, and then pressuring those defensive options. But yeah, the side B wasn't it. Instead, move a little forward, maintain that distance, that mid-range distance against Mario at all times. Not too close, and then you just kind of go from there. But yeah, even here, you can even like throw a hip. Jump was interesting. Yeah, here you just want to play more grounded. So you came down with the aerial, and see, now you're taking advantage of his defense by pressuring it.
We get the fair though, okay. So what's gonna be the
grab? Not the worst thing, here. But yeah, you want to hold the turn up there, and there it is again, where you try to drift forward out of disadvantage with float. And see now, you lost one resource there when you was just gonna cape it anyway, so that was a free ledge grab. And then you try to drift in with the down air, and you lost it. And now we're in a hard spot. And ooh, that was kind of risky.
Probably pull a turnip. There we go.
Were you down air? I mean, the down air was a good mix-up because since you've been rolling, he wants to catch it like right here. But when you're downing, don't hold completely forward because of stuff like back air. It's okay to down air and then drift back, but it kind of worked out for you here. But again, another way to catch the landing is just go for the down tilt here. The fair was okay, but just kind of a reoccurring theme is you can catch the back airs by spacing just out. Like the spacing was awesome here, but you could have gotten more reward with the down tilt.
disadvantage.
And then probably pull a turnip. There we go.
But here,
Yeah.
would I have
it
chased
already
him?
starts at
It's a question.
disadvantage.
Yeah, I would have chased him because I still want the stage control here. Most likely he's gonna spot dodge. Oh, he air dodged instead. So he did something similar. This would have been better to take more space here.
Probably pull a turnip. There we go.
But you're always kind of
It already
running in
starts
with
at
these up airs.
disadvantage.
And then
And another thing is like with turnip,
probably
you can start using your movement more. Yeah. Actually, the up air wasn't too bad. But there it is again, where he kind of jumps out of
Already starts
shield.
at disadvantage.
and then probably
And you can
pull a
just wait
turnip.
for him there
There we go.
instead of going for this back throw turnip out of shield because you can parry it and then he's in disadvantage.
Oh god, that back air.
And now I
And see, you're throwing it too early when it's a great option from ledge. Because let's go back to that other ledge trap. Let's say you had the turnip here. You can down air. Well, you can jump off of ledge, fall, and then like throw the turnip to defend space. You can even throw the turnip up here after you jump off of ledge to get some really tricky mix-ups. So with the turnip in hand, you have more mix-ups at your disposal that you can work with, rather than throwing it away and have to go for like really risky stuff right here. Because you can even like jump off of ledge and throw it to anti-air this back air.
Already starts at disadvantage.
and then probably pull a turnip. There we go.
But yeah, you can hold shield a
God,
little
that
longer
back
there.
And now I guess you just gotta
Or
hit
try to
him
go
with
for
a
the
turnip
parry.
or a down tilt.
Like that's the only
Something
reason
to
you
pray.
really should be using shield against
God,
Mario
that back disadvantage.
is as a bait. Like you can do
Probably pull a
this,
turnip.
be like, okay, I want you to grab me, and then you just run out the way. Or as a way
There
to
we
just
go.
like hold it and then parry.
Oh god,
So-
that back air.
And now I guess you just gotta hit him
But
with
yeah, definitely hold your turnips for ledge. You really need it since you've
The
been
turnip
struggling
or
at
a
ledge a
down
lot
tilt.
and you've been going for these panic rolls. So
and pray.
small decisions that really
You might
matter.
live.
Yeah,
You
you
might
did.
live.
Are we dead? Oh yeah, don't
Okay, I
jump
said you
there
might
because
li-
now
you
you're wasted a
just
jump.
might
And
live.
floating there is
But
also
now this
kind of
next one's gonna
risky
be curtains.
because now you just lost your float. So yeah,
Oh,
Just might live.
jumping, this is a common habit where people like to just kind of jump in the blast zone. When you're this far off stage's Peach, you can go for a side B as like afterwards instead of going for the jump. But I think it was more
I would say
important
you
that you
might-
wasted your float really early here. Because now, since you're
you
gone
just
with the float, he can just flood
might
you,
live.
and it's like really awkward.
but now this next one's gonna be
And
curtains.
yeah, and then it's just
Oh.
over. So super
Who needs
unfortunate.
the
You have to
back
keep
when
the
you got the
float.
back
You
air?
really need it
Those floods were
because
actually key
he
because
will like flood
yeah, they
you,
made it
and at
so
least
you
you
had
still
to
have
up B,
like
and
a
then
jump
once
or
you
a
up B
float
in
to
that
work with.
position, the back air was guaranteed.
Yeah.
But you also haven't really been air dodging to ledge either, which is
Ads on
another
YouTube
thing.
must be so annoying.
You can
but
mix
with
in.
3 clicks, you can install an ad
But
blocker
let's just go
and
to
you'll
this
never see
next
ads
game.
again.
Wow, is this
Okay, we are on Smashville. Smashville's not bad. Actually, Smashville's alright. The only thing you have to worry about is Mario's that are very comfortable on this stage. I don't know how comfortable Sam Silver is, but yeah. It's kind of weird because you have to box with Mario more, but I don't know. It's not that bad. He can't really camp you here, but it's just if the Mario knows how to use the center platform, it's scary. But it also is a double-edged sword because he can't full hop at you when you're walling him under the platform. So it kind of goes both ways. This is a fine stage.
and Sam T trying to put another ignition under his belt. Yeah.
But yeah, again, you had the right spacing. But yeah, here you want to deny
Put
space.
another
But again,
ignition
you have the
under
right
his belt.
spacing, but use the down tilt to catch the landing. It's just something you have to practice. But you can catch Mario's back air landing with the down tilt. Oh. Oh,
God.
yeah. There it is again. Because you've been playing passive this set, this was a really good play on his part, where he was like, you're not going to defend space whenever I come near you. So this was perfect to get the grab into the forward air, which isn't true, but yeah, it's super unfortunate because it's just a good player read because you've been playing very passive, so he's just going to start going aggressive and going for these really hard but rewarding reads.
Oh
So-
god. Wow.
Bro.
So here, let's go back to the beginning. Down tilt or, yeah, instead of back air, you can go for the down tilt here, like I was saying. Or the here, you can even just go for like down tilt here if you want. Would have been better to defend this space versus Mario. It's more important because it's similar to neutral where,
Sam T trying to put another ignition under his belt.
okay, we get hit and we are on the ground. It's not like in the air when you were being aggressive, but it's kind of the same range where it's like I need to put out a hitbox or use some sort of movement to space around him so I don't get hit. But yeah, here would have been good to do like a down tilt. And in that spot, I think you could have air dodged.
Oh,
I'm not
God.
too sure. I think so, yeah.
Wow.
Bro.
Just neutral air dodge.
He said, yeah, pack it up. Oh, God.
But yeah, here it is again, where you throw out a move and then you just dash back.
Pack it.
But yeah, you can even back air there if you want, and just keep pressuring him. Because Peach can trade with Mario pretty well, and corner pressure with Peach is also good because you can just go for trades, and they will favor you because they're off stage.
Oh, God.
But in the corner
Yeah, pack it
too,
up.
you can just like run under the fireball, and he has been jumping a lot with fireball in the corner
God.
to escape.
That's volatile.
And there it is again, where you land
that.
aggressively.
He
It's just
ran
hard.
up and took his stock.
See, now Samty's not even playing like the Mario game. He's just playing the Sam
The
T
Sam
game.
T game, yes. He's gonna be like, ooh, how can
And
I...
even here, kind of what I was referring
Sam
to
T
earlier,
game, yes.
where you go for the up air 1, it can drag him down and you get a down tilt. So it works both ways as a frame trap and as a way to even get a bigger punish. So yeah, and when you're that close to the ground and you're like this much
Like the
distance to
Mario
each
game,
other,
he's just playing the Sam
The
T
Sam
game.
T game, yes.
you just do up air 1 to get him, and then you either frame trap or you get a down tilt. So either one.
He's gonna be like,
So
ooh,
up air
how can
here.
I... What's my last stock? What's my final kill?
Nice, because there you went for the aggressive option. You need to
Yeah.
do that more. And the times you've done it, it's been working.
Also, I wonder
Nice.
if,
Nice spacing.
Yeah.
And also another thing with float is you can use it to like kind of delay your landing and space a little better. So that's why I want you to kind of use float movement a little bit more neutral. Not too much to where like Flood will get you or he'll up smash you, but just as a mix up to make him aware.
Also, I wonder.
And when you're
if,
floating in spots like
yeah.
this, it makes it much easier to do stuff like, well, without the jump, you could float there and then react to something like a fireball and do a rising back air. But yeah, you're doing well in the spacing game in quite a few spots in this matchup. It's just you aren't putting your buttons in spots to make Mario scared of you, or even float as well to call out certain options.
Also, I wonder if his shout out to App.
Yeah, you could have two framed there,
trying to
but
get, like,
I like what you're doing. This was awesome. Yeah, that was perfect. That was
what it's
absolutely
looking
perfect.
like.
Where you're like, okay,
Yeah. Also, I wonder if
Or-
his shout out to Apple
you got him there because you know he's gonna jump,
was like if I'm trying to
and
get like
you floated out there to bait out an option, and then you threw out the turnip. So super good. You didn't overextend or anything.
Oh, that was good. Taking
Kept
only
it simple.
50% all of a sudden.
And see, that's why you
Throw back
need
in
the
the
turnip
game.
with ledge
Yeah.
because it gives you another option to work with.
Wow. Did
Yeah.
you see that? He tried to...
And another thing, off of the platforms, is Mario
That was good. Taking
mainly
only
has been using
50% all of a
aggressive
sudden. Throw back in the
options.
game.
yeah.
Like it's usually been a jump off nair or like fall through the platform with the back air. But yep.
Wow. Did
Yeah.
you see that? He tried to
See,
kill
you
him.
should have pressed a button there. Especially knowing his movement timings, he would have came in like right there. And you had the right movement, but you should have done something like a nair. Because I think you're just playing too
See
passive.
that?
When you should have kept the same formula as that FD game, when he was in the corner, like around here or so, where you just use buttons to defend space just outside his range. It's where he would try to whiff punish
He
you and
tried
kind of
to
play
kill
it
him off
from
a
there.
jump read.
And there it is again. You try to
Yeah.
nair at a hit stun.
No,
Okay,
But,
so
yeah.
this move, oh
Yeah.
my god, this move. You don't try to punish it. Instead, you try to cover the next option, which is normally spot dodge in this game. Like if they miss a move, they're gonna spot dodge. So I normally try to punish grounded smash attacks with like a rising down air. Unless it's like Cloud or something, then they could just up smash me again. So yep. Definitely avoid like it's kind of like Wolf F Smash where it just has no lag for no reason. So you can just kind of read the next option instead of trying to punish
Oh
it.
boy, yeah. No. Get that out of here.
All right, we got some peach
Up air,
juggles. All right,
nice,
okay,
read the
peach.
air
Back
dodge.
air. Yeah, I don't know if turnip
Ooh, that
can
was
two frame, but
good.
it definitely, he's definitely spacing them.
Yeah, there's the
Yeah,
back air
he's
again.
making it look like it do. Maybe on certain.
I like how you're boxing with him here, but it's just you're using shield too much. Instead, it's okay to go for something like a spot dodge here, because you have been using shield a lot up close. But yeah, you can go for stuff like spot dodge there, or even rising down there, like what we were saying earlier. Because you didn't drift in there, and this is what I was talking about with the down airs, where when you're at ledge, you just don't want to drift fully in there. Instead, you kind of want to drift back sometimes, or jump and then fall back. So don't drift fully in. It's like neutral, where you don't want to drift fully in, and even there too, where the moment you drift in, he's starting to just get you, and you jump too, when it would have been better to just go off stage and play it more passive, because you wouldn't have taken this punish.
Wow. It is. You called it, man. I called it.
And you can even mix this up, this down air up with, you jump, and then you can like air dodge. Or this is why also float's important, because you can jump off of ledge here. Yeah, without using the float there, you can just go low. And you can just jump here, and then JCFF nair. So, or jump here, JCFF air dodge as like a mix up. So that's why your float, because you've been kind of struggling at the ledge quite a bit. That's why you need to use your flow mix-ups, because it really helps.
Yeah, you're right.
And there you jump. And so you're just trying to always get back to stage so quickly. And it's really getting you punished a lot of times.
I called it, but I didn't want it. I didn't want it to happen.
You knew. You knew, and Sam T knew.
It's like, oh, thanks, Jetfire. I remember that option now.
Nice. But yeah, again,
Like,
I think you're trying to get these down, these fairs. I don't know, to read, to catch his landings. And instead you just want to go for down tilts.
Right.
What does this
Oh,
mean?
thanks,
Are you
Jetfire. I
after
remember
your
that option
layups?
now.
He does sometimes shield or another rising area.
Oh, God. Oh,
Uh-oh.
no, wait.
Oh,
Yeah,
man. Yeah. But it was good you were defending space there, which is pretty
thanks,
good.
Jetfire. I remember that.
But another option you can do out of the corner is you can do SHJCFF into shield
Oh,
or
thanks,
walking.
Jetfire.
Like you can do
Remember that.
that, and there it is again where you dash back. But you can just like kind of walk forward out of the corner. And yeah, there it is again. You're just like dashing back too much. That's like the huge thing. After you press a button, and then you kind of corner yourself.
Right. Oh, right.
Yeah, here you can just like walk forward and shield, or SHJCFF and shield. It's pretty good. Definitely recommend, rather than like always down tilting in the corner.
Oh, right.
Because he can try to read you with this fair, but you can also just roll. Rolling might have been the better choice here, especially here. Especially after you have been doing aggressive options in the corner, like down air, nair, back air, dash back again, where it would have been better here as a mix-up to just like start walking and shield, change up the pace, change up the tempo, because you have been pressing buttons, or you can just roll. You can roll, you can like run up roll after, since you've done stuff like run up nair and back air as a mix-up. So this is kind of like playing off of your options, and that's kind of like the big thing with Peach against brawlers, just in general. You can start pressing buttons to kind of force certain options, and then play off of those buttons with your movement. So like here, you've been doing this Mario's kind of been spacing around you and trying to stuff you out. But then you can start using movement as a way to move around what he's trying to punish you for throwing out, if that makes sense. And mixing up defensive options in there as well.
Oh, God. Oh, no way. Yeah.
And maybe here would have been better to just jump, honestly. Because at this percent, I think you could have DI'd in there. Let me see. Because this one combo I do want to mention is if you're at ledge and Mario up airs you, if you DI in on certain spots, then you'll be spiked into the stage rather than like out here if you just hold in against him. But maybe not there.
Oh, wait. Yeah, that's it. Wow.
But yeah, instead of down tilt, you can also use ground float nair. Ground float nair is a little better. I think you were gonna try to call out the back air, which is fair. But you can do like ground float nair to not be as stationary, or even like rising down air.
Oh, God. Oh, no way. Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, that's just unfortunate. But I do like how you edge guarded him in a lot of spots where you kind of floated just out there, like here, and to bait the option, and then you did that. So that was awesome. I think you also did much better at the ledge trapping, as it went on, especially this game. I forgot what part of the game it was, but I kind of mentioned
Backers
it.
aren't as big of a threat as
It was like here, you're just playing, you're denying space,
backers
and
aren't
then you were starting to read his defensive option. It seems like as soon as you started to press buttons on this Mario, that he would start choosing defensive options or dashing back. And then that's when you can start pressuring him, his defensive options with more buttons, with well-spaced buttons at that. But you can do stuff like this to bait out the defense because he's like, okay, I'll try to roll through your pressure. But you're like, nope, I'll just cover it with another button. And in this whole scenario, even if he wanted to swing at you, you would have traded, and it would have been perfect for you. So you definitely got better at that. But the big thing is,
all of a sudden Toad back in the game.
and it still stands, is you throw out a button.
Yeah. See that? He tried
There was
to
sometimes, yeah, like here, where you just played too patient, and you weren't denying any sort of space to make this Mario scared.
Did you see that? He tried to kill him off a jump read.
And yeah, mashing at a hit stun was another big thing, but let me see if I can find it. But the big thing was you always
Jump read. Yeah.
press a button into a defensive option. So you can do like up air, and I mean the shield was fair there, but you do that.
Oh boy, yeah, no, get that.
Hold on.
All of a sudden, oh god, shout out to Apple is like, I think, oh god.
Was it here?
We are looking at Samsey trying to.
But yeah, here, like, you're playing just too passive, and you need to start denying space. That was, like, one big thing, as well as earlier, where you press a button and then you dash back. And you need to and the times you mix up defensive options was when you really shined afterwards. Mixing up your button patterns. You didn't really use a lot of double jump cancel fair, or rising dare, or even rising nair as well. And floating backwards was really good, because you can go for stuff like the tomahawk there, where floating backwards after you've been pressing buttons. So it's kind of what the theme is with these past couple of videos, is how Peach's movement and buttons go hand in hand. Is you can like pressure with back air to bait out the defense, and then you can go for stuff like grabs here, because that Mario knew you were floating with him backwards, so you can start to go for more grabs. So yeah, definitely that. And if the Mario wants to jump, you can just jump out of ground float in there. So just something to keep in mind. But yeah, I think that's basically everything I wanted to go over with this set.